My vodka lectures started through connection. I'd always talked about doing a podcast, and then Kyle, who is behind the scenes of the podcast, is
Yeah.
now sitting on the couch with me very uncomfortably because I got sick of hearing my own voice. And I'm like, Kyle, why don't you come and sit here? Let's get chatting. But I've been really grateful for you doing the vodka lectures. And I think, your story about starting your own business
Mhm.
isn't always easy.
No.
And I'm a good mentor, aren't I, with that?
Very good mentor. Very good mentor.
You're always a lot more chatty when you're over the
uh,
other side, not in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's different being in front of the camera versus being behind the camera.
Well, the whole reason today, and I'm going to jump straight in, I'm no holes barred.
She literally just said, I'm not going to jump straight in.
Yeah, well, I am going to jump straight in because I think that today was really good. When we were chatting away about something, Kyle just gets on this tangent and starts telling me.
Most of the time I'm on the tangent.
Exactly. Telling me about the time when he came out and what he did and what he said to his mum and how hard that was. And it wasn't so much about the story about you coming out. It was the story about that you weren't feeling great within yourself and you were feeling really sad.
Yeah.
And that for me, I know there's so many people that wake up on a daily basis and feel sad about something.
Yeah.
And don't know how to, talk to people about it. I mean, you were obviously feeling sad about knowing that you were gay.
Mm-hmm.
You were in Ireland.
Yeah, I was
very
in Ireland.
Catholic.
Very Catholic, very I didn't really know any other gay people except for one guy in college.
that one guy.
Yeah, well, no.
That one time at band camp.
yeah. But no, I didn't know anybody that was gay. So I had nobody to follow in their footsteps,
Or ask how you're
feeling.
Or ask,
yeah. And I suppose I was denying it as well for a long time.
Yeah. And do you think you felt sad because it was did you feel guilty or
I don't know. I'm a talker, so I don't really bottle things up.
Yeah.
So not being able to talk about something is when I get sad.
Because did you know inside that you were gay?
Well, I knew I was gay. I knew I was gay from a young age, but I didn't know quite how to deal with that, I suppose. Because you get the questions.
Because you've had girlfriends before.
Yeah, I had girlfriends, and I was trying to do the whole straight thing. It just was not working out for me.
Were you kissing those girls?
Yeah. I mean, I was doing everything a teenage boy should do, but
it just didn't feel right.
No, I just knew it wasn't right. It wasn't even like I was lying to myself. I was like, oh, fuck, how am I going to do this?
I love it.
And then you're just trying to you're trying to, especially when growing up, it was fine because I grew up with 5 girls as best friends. I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious. But it was when I went to college and I had a lot more guy friends. Yeah. That's when it became harder because it was... Because
you weren't sitting there looking at a girl going, oh, she's hot.
Yeah. And then you're in competition. How many girls can you kiss? How many, it just becomes all this
pretense.
Yeah.
Your whole life's a pretense.
Yeah. I remember one day the boys were like, oh, let's watch music videos of really hot girls.
Yeah.
And I was fine. And then they were Rihanna, Shakira, and then they put on Britney Spears sometimes. And I was like, who is this woman? And this just sent me down this Britney Spears obsession where I've just watched every single music video after that.
Not because you found it physically attractive.
No, because she was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was those kind of things where you're just pretending all the time. But
that must be so hard. Knowing inside yourself, you're looking at a video going on, they're all going, oh, look at her, and
Yeah, and I'm like, look at the way she moves.
Yeah. Yeah. So you found ways to occupy your mind in relation to it. So what age was this sort of happening?
I mean, I suppose it wasn't, not that it wasn't becoming a problem. The funny thing is I was always bullied for being gay before I was gay.
Really?
Yeah.
So everyone sort of knew.
Yeah. But guys would do that anyway because I was friends with a lot of girls, and I wasn't into sports. I wasn't sporty. So it wasn't even that I was super flamboyant. I just wasn't into sports. So it's just the only thing they know to use,
to
you know?
use. And I mean, saying that, like, you know, one of my friends that came out when I was 18, years and years and years ago, like, he was so macho and he was
Yeah.
like, you know, big and buffed and going to the gym. And, you know,
Yeah.
everyone thought about gays at the time as being, you know, effeminate and being,
Yeah.
you know, no one ever thought of them as that macho guy or that, you know, strong. So then you've gone from watching the videos to
Yeah.
not feeling a part of it, then to getting this like real sort of depression, but not realizing why you were depressed.
No.
Or you knew why,
I knew why I was depressed is
but you couldn't
because
talk to anyone.
I had a boyfriend
Yeah.
and
Oh, no one knew.
nobody
And
knew.
it's a secrecy.
Yeah, and they like also weren't out at the time. So it was like a secret between the two of us.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
it was like,
And was he really worried if someone would find out or
yeah, he was less worried at the start, and then I think I scared him.
because you wanted to come out?
He wanted to, and then I didn't, and
Yeah.
then that flipped back on me.
And how old were you by this stage?
I was like in my late teens, like around 18, 19.
Yeah.
Like I'd say 19, maybe even. I don't think I came out.
I think that's the most time when I know people, you know, that's the sort of age, because I think it just becomes this unbearable, you know, I can't live this lie anymore.
Yeah. I think that's what it was for me as well. As like I wasn't the best in that relationship. Like I was kind of like a psychopath. So like, and
Why were you psycho?
because we had like stupid deals that like we could still like go off with girls in the club to keep up appearances with the boys, and like it just. Oh yeah, and then it's just like every time
You're living
one
a
of us
double
is out
life.
without the other one, like it's like, oh, what's going to happen tonight? And then
Yeah.
like and it just became
I
like,
couldn't imagine that whole lie, because you're lying to yourself,
yeah,
you're lying to your family,
that's it. Like
you're
it's
lying to
yeah.
everyone.
I remember one time I booked us a hotel, and I was like, because it was like in a town that we weren't, like nobody knew us.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that far, obviously, because next thing, my mom texts me and asked, was I taking a girl to this hotel room
Oh, no
because
way.
her best friend was the general manager.
Oh, no.
And she
So then you
seen that
didn't
I
stay there.
booked. No, I cancelled the
Oh
booking.
my
And
God.
because she was like, oh, I'll give him an upgrade and all this. And I
Oh,
was like,
no.
oh,
Oh
no.
my gosh.
But it like for me, it just became more about like there was a lot going on. Like it was also like my first like serious relationship, and so I was going through all the like standard like first relationship problems, like, and
But
then
not being able to
but
discuss it
then
with
nobody to
anyone.
talk to.
Yeah. And I
Um,
think that's the hardest thing. I can't imagine, but when obviously you were coming out, it's like it's a process. People
mhm,
just don't wake up and go, "Yeah, bang, I'm gonna tell
yeah,
people."
and the thing is, like, I feel like it should be more of a like not an expectation. Like, so you like, you like from a young age, everyone's like, oh, have you got a girlfriend? Do you fancy that girl? Like nobody gave you the option
Yeah.
to not
Be
be
gay.
gay.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody gave you the option ever, because it's always just an assumption.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also think, like, I always have said to my kids, like, you know, I don't care. I've
Yeah.
always said that to them. So I've never said, you know, you're going out with a girl, you're going out with a boy, I've always said to them, you know, I would never care if you were gay. I just want you to be happy.
Mm.
And I think that's the most important thing, I think, from any parent's perspective. But a lot of parents wouldn't know,
Yeah.
wouldn't think to say that.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
don't like that's the thing. Like, it's not malicious, like, or like you like somebody make a gay joke. Like, I remember my
Mm.
granddad once was like, we were watching a movie and there was two gay guys kissing. He's like, that's fucking disgusting. That shouldn't be on TV. And it's simple things like that. And I would have been so young,
Oh,
but
and
like
you were just
all those
dying.
things just like
Stay in your
just
head.
stay in your head.
and
Like
stay
they
there.
just remind
Yeah.
you. And even though it's so
And you're
innocent,
protecting yourself.
yeah, it's so innocent, but then you're like, oh, well, what? Like my nan and granddad were going to vote no in the gay marriage referendum,
Oh, no.
and I actually was. This was like
So
kind
you're
of
engaged at the moment. You're not married yet.
engaged.
Engaged,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
But so at what point you obviously know that you're gay, you've known you're gay for years and years and years, you're still hiding it, you've got the boyfriend, you're sneaking around. So were you scared of being caught? Like, were you scared of being found out?
Um, I wasn't scared of being
Because your
found
mum was
out.
living in Australia,
My
wasn't
mom
she,
was
at the
living in
time, and
Australia,
you were
yeah.
in Ireland, so it wasn't a worry about her
It
finding
wasn't a
out.
worry about her. Like, I grew up with my grandparents, so it was
Yeah.
more about them. But I don't think I was ever scared I think I was scared, like, initially, like, of the change that, like, you can't take it back once you've said it, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I think it was initially, like, the
Well, you know what?
change.
Yes, you can, because
I mean,
no, seriously, Johnny and I, one New Year's Eve, this guy came out we were in, at a beach party on the Gold Coast, and this guy basically came out, and it was, 12 o'clock. He's like, "I just want to start the new year and tell everyone that I'm gay, and I've always been gay. And then the next morning, he's like, guys, sorry, I didn't really mean that." So I think he probably got drunk and told everyone, and then thought, "Shit, I shouldn't have told
funny, I
people yet."
actually came out on New
Yeah.
Year's Eve as well.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve.
Wow.
But
I think a lot of things happen for people in the new year, because they think that's when they say the highest divorce rate is, because people just go, "Okay, I'm sick of that old
yeah,
life. I want to start
the most
afresh."
gym memberships get signed up.
Exactly. All those new beginnings.
All those new beginnings. I take it back. I take
Yes.
it back. Yeah, so I think for me what happened was I was in the relationship, it was a secret. I was kind of more and more ready, like as like time went by, and then like to be respectful to them. Like,
And
you
if they
can't
didn't want to come out, you can't just
you
do
can't
that.
just
No.
yeah, like what that'd probably end the relationship.
Yeah.
And then so it's what do you do? You're just stuck.
Mm.
You're just stuck, and that's how I felt. Like I was just like stuck
And you
with
said
no way
before you
out.
felt really suicidal about it,
Yeah,
because
yes. As I
you were
started
just
getting,
so sad.
I was because I was getting down, and like I was having like it's not like it was a perfect relationship, like there was just so many things like where
And do you think you stuck
that
with him because
that
you thought he's the only one that knows that secret? And
no, I think initially I think like we ended up together for like 5 years. So
oh,
like
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So it was like
And did he come out at the same time, or
no,
no?
no. But yeah, essentially like he wasn't coming out. I was kind of ready to come out, and then like whenever we'd have problems with that, like there's no one to talk to, so you just have to cry to yourself,
Mm.
And I'm not
It's
really
so
good with
hard.
holding things in anyway.
Mm.
So like, it would become like a it the boys, like I suppose like our friends at the time started to like notice us being so close, so like then they started making jokes about us being gay.
Oh,
And
wow.
then that just
And that got you even more
things
frightened and more
that made
scared,
things just more hostile. Like it
and you
was
couldn't
like
be natural
we were almost
together.
like ignoring each other,
Yeah.
like at that point, like around other people,
Gosh,
So
that's
like and
so
it's just
hard.
all those
So
little
you just
things like
can't be
building up.
natural at any
Yeah.
stage. You can't be yourself. And so obviously you start to second guess yourself and question yourself and everything, and that's what ended up making you spiral and become so
Yeah.
depressed, and
Yeah. So then
because you can't be yourself. And
yeah,
you can't
that's
be
it.
yourself with him, you can't be
And then
yourself without
you
him.
can't even tell people why you're sad.
Yeah.
So
But you decided to call your mum, didn't you?
yeah, I did eventually.
And how
Eventually,
long had you been in a relationship by that time?
maybe like 6, 7 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like 6, 7 months, I
And
think.
it's not like you're young, it's not like you're 15, you're 18 by this stage, and
Yeah, yeah, and we still had all that like shit going on, like about like the seeing other people. And what happened was like initially it was fine, like it was just a bit of fun. And then as it got more and more serious, there was more and more feelings involved. So there was more and more hurt when
Yeah.
something would happen. But yeah, eventually I like I said, I just got like really, really sad. No one to talk to, nobody to tell why I was sad.
And you got
So
depressed.
and yeah, and I got
Really
depressed, really depressed, very suicidal thoughts, like all the time, like to the point where like I used to carry around my
Because you think
passport.
it's just so much easier.
Oh yeah, like I used
Easier not to come out. It's just easier to kill myself than to come out.
yeah, or run away. That was my other thing. I used to carry my passport everywhere with me, so I could go at any point.
Oh,
Like I always
don't. I
had
feel so
everything
sad.
with me. Yeah, no.
'Cause there's so many people out there that are dealing with what you're dealing with now,
Yeah, and it is.
And the fact that they can't even be themselves, and the fact that you have to get to a point where you're thinking of, committing suicide because you can't deal with what you're going through, and,
Yeah,
you know.
and I think for me is even like I was ready at that point, but like I couldn't do it because I was still trying to protect the other person then. So I wasn't even protecting myself at that point. So
Yeah.
like that's where like I just was like I just wanted to like run away or like because I used to always think like no matter how bad it got, like I could never do that to my nan.
Yeah, because you didn't want her to know that you were gay.
No, I just
Oh,
couldn't.
you
I
couldn't
could never
commit
kill
suicide.
myself because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't do
yeah.
that to my nan.
So then what? You just thought, "I've gotta talk to someone," so that's when you told your mum?
Yeah, no, it was actually a friend first. Like one night I was in that state where like, cause it was always late at night, like where like you get the worst of the worst. And like some days, like, or some nights I wouldn't walk home from his house. Like I would just walk for hours and hours and hours in the middle of the night, like, cause I just didn't want to go home.
And you
Like,
you said to me that you used to stay at his house and you'd have to climb out the window,
yeah,
and then it was the walk home
it
that
was the
made you
walk
sort of feel
home.
dirty and
Yeah,
disgusting,
yeah, it was just like, this
which
isn't
you
worth it.
shouldn't have felt dirty and disgusting,
No.
but it was only the fact that you hadn't come out that made you feel dirty.
Yeah, yeah, and it was just the hiding
It's
it
a
and like
whole
the
cycle, isn't it? It's just
yeah, yeah, it was just like all the hiding it and
and also
everything.
the judgment. I think that's what the worst thing is you're fearful of the judgment,
Yeah,
and that's
the
such a
fear.
hard thing, and I think people are still going through that. Although we're saying, we believe in gay marriage and love is love, I still think people, young boys and young women are going through this every single day because they don't want to be judged.
Yeah, they don't want to be judged. Like part of it as well is like you don't want to prove everyone right that bullied you. You know,
Yeah.
like the people that called you gay, like and like you don't want to tell them all they were right. You know,
Yeah.
but it's funny because when I actually did come out, a lot of those guys that bullied me in school for
They're
years
so
about being gay
apologetic.
apologized. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so it was only okay to do when I wasn't gay. Like when you thought I wasn't gay, and then
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, if we'd known you were gay, we would have never said that."
Oh,
I'm
no.
like,
Oh, no.
What?"
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, I one night it got really bad, and I was just like, I was trying to protect myself, so I literally went online and was just like, I went on Messenger, seeing who was online, and there was one guy that like I was close enough with, but didn't know that well, and like I just texted him and I was like, "Hey, bro," like pure straight. Um, hey, bro, and he was like,
"Hey,
"Hey,
bro, can you chat? I'm
yeah,
gay."
yeah." No, he was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And I was just like, "I'm really sad." Like, and that's all I could ever say. I could never
Yeah,
tell
you
him.
couldn't
I
say
couldn't
you were
tell him
gay,
why.
you just said, "I'm
Yeah, and
sad."
then he actually said,
And look, I've been in a really bad relationship before where I've been exactly that. I just would tell people I was too embarrassed to tell people I wanted to break up with this guy, so I'd
mm,
just say I was sad.
yeah,
So that's a really
yeah,
it's a very protective oh my god, get rid of that fly. It's a really it's a amazing protection mechanism,
yeah,
to say I'm sad. You say you're sad when you don't want to admit actually what's the problem.
yeah,
And I've done that before in a bad relationship, which you were doing that
yeah,
because you didn't want to admit to anyone actually what
yeah,
the issue
because
was.
that's the only thing you can feel when you can't say anything else.
Yeah.
Like you're just sad. Like what
Mhm.
else can you say? Like, so yeah, but it was funny because he actually responded to me before I could tell him, and he was like, "I'm actually not too good." And then it just became this thing where like we both were like, "Well, I'm sad too." And then I told him what was going on.
Oh, did you tell you
No,
came
I didn't tell him what. I just told him like how bad I was,
and how
and
bad you
like he like
felt?
skated down to my house at like 2 in the morning, and was like, and then the next day he was like, "No, you need to go for therapy." I'm like, "I'm fine now. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's the morning.
It's
I
the
was always
morning,
fine."
I'm
But
out of that.
he made me apply for therapy. He was like, "No," he's like, "You're gone beyond bad now," like, you
Yeah.
know? So he made me apply for the therapy. It was a college therapy and it was free. You
It's
send them an
pretty
email
easy.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But they were like, "Oh yeah, there's an 8 week wait list." So like,
So what are you meant to do after 8 weeks?
I
Like,
was
you've
like, I
already
might not
necked
be
your
here in eight
yeah,
weeks.
you've already
Like, you know,
necked
like I'm
yourself by
like,
then.
by the time you get to the point where you like reach out to send that email, I needed help like yesterday, you
Yeah.
know? And that 8 weeks, luckily for me, I had that friend that like was in
Was
on
there
me the
with you the whole
whole eight
time, and you
weeks.
still didn't think about coming out
Yeah.
during that time?
No, I didn't know what to do. Like I was in such a rut, and I must have emailed them like 4 times during that 8 weeks, being like, "It's
I
really
really
bad.
need
It's really
help.
bad. Like I
Wow, that's
really
just
want help now." Like I
horrible.
was literally
I
begging.
really hope people aren't out there that
Yeah.
need help and don't get it.
I know, because I was literally like, I was begging them, and I was being explicit, like,
Yeah.
about what I was going to do.
Yeah,
Like,
wow.
and they
And they
just,
never got back to you.
no, it was like 8
And the
weeks
whole
later.
time it was you just basically
I was just trying to get on with life.
yeah.
It was the period, like, it was actually this period from like October to December. And then again, this was just all still going on. And
And then what made you decide that
what,
you were gonna come out?
what part of it was the therapy, but like,
Oh, so you did
um,
go and speak to someone and
yeah, well, I
yeah.
did. I got in after the 8 weeks. It was like right before Christmas,
Oh, it's
and
like, "Great,
yeah,
thanks."
yeah, like I was like, thank God. And I was going to, or before this is when I had that like interaction with my mom. One night was again walking home really late at night, like in that awful state, and I just got this epiphany moment where I was like, every time me or my mom made a Pinterest board, this was a long time ago, when people used Pinterest, it would give us a notification and you'd see what the other person was putting in that board.
Yeah.
I just made a Pinterest board and it was like mental health, and like I just started saving all these like awful
so she knew.
quotes.
Wow.
And like I didn't even get home and like my phone was ringing.
Oh, so she knew. It was your cry for help.
Yeah, literally. And then I didn't even know if it'd work, but I didn't want to text her and tell her either. So she saw it, and then she was on she was at work. She just took a lunch break to ring me, and she rang, and she was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I just so sad." That's all
and
I
she
could
didn't
say.
realize you were
That's all I could
wanting
say.
to come out.
Over and over and over again.
Well,
And I told her like that I was suicidal and all that. She just talked me down. Like I think we were on the phone for like 3 hours.
Wow.
Till like 6 in the morning, until I was like, all right, I'm ready to go to sleep. Like I'll be fine. And then so she was obviously over here.
Do you think, or like, there's so many people that are going through exactly what you've gone through with this whole build-up? It's such a build-up.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
because no time is the right time for anyone to come out.
Yeah, that's it. And like I was lucky when I did come out with my family, that they were all very like supportive and okay, but like some people, and I get it, like some people.
And what about your grandpop that made those sexist comments?
No, he was so fine. He was
because if your parents just want you to be happy,
people don't realize like that, like it's I think my dad said the best. He said to my uncle one time, after I'd come out to my dad, but I hadn't yet to my uncle made a gay joke or whatever, and my dad like pounced, like being like, like, oh, don't fucking talk like that. Like you never know till it's at your own doorstep, like how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And that was a nice full circle moment, because my dad had made comments as well to me, like about it, because that was one of the things that was stopping me for so long, because I thought I'd lose my relationship with him.
Wow.
And then...
See, that's the thing. There's so many layers and so many elements. It's not just a matter of... Because like half the time you said you knew you were gay, but then you didn't want to come out because then you couldn't go back. But then you said you knew you were gay for years and years
but
and years.
I knew from when I was like 5. The time you're meant to start
but then
liking...
you're still so fearful about coming out because you fear that you can't go back.
Because it's the norm, what you're meant to do. Like you're being dressed up in a suit, and like on your communion, and everyone's like, oh, it's like your wedding day with the girl next to you,
Yeah.
Like it's just, you always know it's meant to go one way and then it doesn't,
Yeah.
And it's awful. I used to blame the one time I clicked on a gay porn video, and I was like, if I never clicked it that day, that would have never happened. Like I was convinced.
Because you start feeling all this guilt about yourself.
Yeah, it was the guilt and the shame.
That was probably
the spiral.
You proving to yourself, well, yes, I am gay.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to look at this to see if I am. You're always questioning
it wasn't.
yourself.
It was, it was more like an instinct. For a long time, I never did click on anything like that,
Yeah.
And then I clicked on it one day. Then my preference changed, and I was like, a fucking video. Like, I wish I never clicked it. Like, that's literally
then all of
for
a sudden
years.
Your feed started to come through.
Yeah, for years I was like,
get rid of this gay porn.
If I just watched straight porn, I would have been fine. But as you get older, you realize.
I think in terms of your experience and what you've gone through, and obviously really emotional, like it's, the fact that you have to be so rock bottom before you can even think about coming out.
Yeah, the thing
and
is,
how many people would go through that same thing? I mean, not what advice, because that seems so, but what do you think? Like, was it the fact that you had therapy? Was it the fact that you could chat to someone? Was it the fact that you felt brave enough to? Because it is a brave thing.
I think it was I think there comes a point where like it's not worth it,
Your mental health.
Like not just mental health, but like the whole thing was like, I was just so done. Like I didn't care anymore by the time I came out. Like I just did. You were
so exhausted.
I was exhausted.
Exhausted pretending.
Yeah, I was exhausted.
And the mental strain of having to do that.
Yeah.
I think is And then the hard thing is, then that first relationship means so much.
Yeah.
And you put so much emphasis on that first relationship because that's the first person that you've been honest with in terms of coming out. And doing that together is so risky.
Yeah, that's it.
So once you've risked that, because you didn't know he was gay.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, the first time that you got together, that was a big risk.
Yeah.
I mean, who made the first move?
I think he did kind of like in a joking way, and I was like, ooh. And I like followed him around like a puppy dog for the rest of the night, trying to make the next one.
Make the next move. But you know what? That's another thing. Like, that's so risky. You could have lost a friendship if it didn't go the right way.
That's it.
He could have lost a friendship if it didn't go the right way.
Yeah, and it kind of happened naturally in the end. But like it is that. It's like you don't want that risk. And like the thing is, we had that one gay guy in our group. So our friends were cool with people being gay, but it's more just about yourself and your own perception and like
your family and your dad and your mom.
Yeah, and what you even accept, because the thing is, you don't want to be gay for the rest of your life. That's the thing. You're still not like being gay at that point was not fun. It's not like in Sydney where you're out in your little Speedos and like everyone's gay.
Yeah.
It's like
over
in Ireland, it's like you're looked at and you're, there's no gay clubs, there's no gay spaces, there is, but like in the big cities.
And whereas now, I think, you can have children. And it's a lot more accepted.
It's a much more derogatory term as well that's like thrown around with the boys all the time,
Yeah. Well, when I was filming Traders recently, I learnt so much. There's this great comedian called Reese. And also one of the crew there were saying to me, we're queer. And I'm like, oh my God, queer was such a bad term. Like, I thought if you called someone queer, that was really derogatory.
Yeah.
Like, that was shocking. And they're like, no, they've sort of regained this whole term.
They've
reclaimed it and taken it back. And, I think it's such an evolving,
That's the thing. I'm like, not like so gay, but like I'm so comfortable with being gay that now I wouldn't swap.
No.
If I had
oh my God, you're engaged, you're about to get married.
But the thing is, like, for a long time, if I could have had a choice,
you would have chosen not to be. I know, but isn't that sad?
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought that it was, you're going to be lonely, you're going to be miserable, but that's not the case now. It's so different. You're allowed to have, not allowed to have children, but it's accepted to have children.
Yeah.
It's very norm.
Yeah. Especially in Sydney, like I found that once I moved here, like it really made me comfortable. I don't think I'll ever be comfortable in an Irish pub. And even when I go home, I tone it down. Not that I'm super
not that you're running around.
Yeah, like not that I'm super flamboyant anyway, but like I do like more like, all right, chest up, like, haha.
I mean, you've got to go back into that stereotype of...
And you do it because you don't want to be beaten up, like, know.
Oh, wow.
Or like have somebody, slurring at you in the pub, for no reason.
Gosh,
and
it's just still like that.
Yeah, it would be like
crazy.
At yeah. So going back to when I was coming out and when it was getting to that point where like it was like really, really bad. I remember I went into I had that interaction with my mom, the Pinterest board. I called her. She wasn't coming home for Christmas that year. She'd been home the year before, and she'd been twice during the year as well. Like we see each other like every 6 months in like different places. We met in China, we met in all random places. And for anybody that doesn't know as well, like I grew up living with my grandparents. So like that wasn't like, it wasn't like she just up and left my home. But so she wasn't coming home for Christmas that year. And then after this,
sad and the Pinterest board.
Oh yeah, like she texted me like the next day, like being like, I've booked my flights home, I'm going to be home next week. And so like that kind of like, I suppose like like you obviously know your mom loves you and your family loves you and everything, but that kind of gesture, I think like solidified that, okay, it will be okay when I tell her, because like, she'd do this for me, like she'll be home in a minute for me. So then I had the therapy session on the Friday finally, that in a consult, and I went in, and there was this big scary man who was very stern, and he was like, I'm going to tell you direct now. He was like, I don't take no bullshit. Like, and he was like, and he was like,
and you're like, I just need a compassionate
ear, like,
not
like,
a no bullshit talk.
Well, it turns out it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Because I went in and I told him everything, blah, blah. And then he's like, asked me all these questions. Like,
you told him you're gay.
Yeah, I told him everything
Yeah.
straight away. I was
Wow.
ready to
Wow.
talk. Like, I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
"Rah, rah, 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 but we're doing this and we're doing that," and we're like, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and this, and I can't tell anyone. I was ready to talk. And then, like, he asked you questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely were you to, like, do something to yourself today and all this? And
Yeah.
my answers were high. And at the end of it, he was like, I was meant to be going to a medicine ball that night. He was like, I can't let you leave. He was like, I have to admit you.
Oh,
He was like,
no.
unless
Oh,
I
my
ask you the
God.
questions again, your answer is different.
Oh,
And I was
no.
like,
Oh, my God. You
ask me
weren't gonna be
again.
admitted.
Yeah, I was
No.
like, ask me again. I was like, because at the
Yeah.
end of the talk, I was like, I'll be fine. And he said something to me when I was leaving that day out of the office, and he was like, well, I want to see you again Wednesday, or I want to see you quickly, you know?
Yeah.
And he said to me, going out of the office that day, remember something, Kyle, right as I was walking out the door, and he said, I can't counsel someone who's dead. And that just
Oh,
played
wow.
in my head again and again and again and again and again. And I think that was the last time I ever thought about it. Like,
Wow.
because I just remembered you can't get help if you're dead.
Oh,
Like,
my
you know?
God.
And like that, it was so simple,
Wow.
it was so direct, it was
And it was so
shocking.
powerful.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
like
you needed
that,
to hear it.
that was what, like, that was Friday, it was like 5 days before. So that's all that played in my head. All the
Wow.
time,
Wow.
all the time.
Meaning
Like,
get over yourself, mate.
you
You're gonna
can't,
be all
yeah,
right.
like, you
You're gonna be
can't,
all
like,
right.
you know, there's no other option if you take that route, you know?
Yeah.
And then my mom came home and I was fine. And I didn't tell her straight away, but I'd gone mute, like, I wasn't speaking anymore. I had nothing to say,
Oh,
you
'cause
know?
you wanted to say what you wanted to say,
Yeah,
but you
so,
couldn't find the words to say it. So it's easier to say nothing than to come out and
yeah,
tell
so, like, I
people.
was just silent all the time, which is very
Wow.
unlike me,
Yeah.
because, and like, you know, mom would ask me, like, oh, why are you silent? Like, you know, why are you so sad?
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, she didn't want me going out drinking because she was like, you're sad. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's not the fucking drink, because I knew what the issue
Yeah.
was, you
And
know? Like,
meanwhile, where was this guy that you'd been seeing?
well, because we go back to our hometowns for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, like, he was away back home
Oh.
and I was away back home. So
And the
then,
problem is there's so much emphasis on that relationship because that's
yeah,
that's like the tick of when you started to become gay in
yeah,
your
like,
mind.
yeah, like that's, well,
That's the
not when I started to become gay, but like
no,
that
but
was when
that's
I
the
like
you
started.
committed to it
Yeah,
and you
that's
were
it.
in a loving relationship and you wanted
And
it to work.
that's it. Like, I just wanted to scream it from the rooftops at that
Yeah.
point, like, you know. And so it eventually came to New Year's, and funny enough, like, not the nan I live with, my mom's mother, we were all out for New Year's, and she was like, "You're not yourself." I went out. She was having a fag. I just went out to stand with her. I didn't smoke at the time. I still don't smoke, but like, I never smoked, never vaped or anything. So I used to just go stand with
her.
with
Yeah.
her, you know. So I went out stood with her, and she was like, "There's something wrong with you," you know.
Do you think they knew?
Oh yeah, because this was like, she was like, "Something wrong with you," and I was like, "Oh yeah." And then she was like, "Are you missing someone?" And I was like, "Yeah." And
Oh.
then, because I was ready to talk, like, this
Yeah.
was
And
New Year's
she
Eve.
knew.
Yeah, and she knew. And then I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Is it a boy or a girl?" And I just said,
Oh.
"A boy." And then we kind of like left it at like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Fuck." Like, now I have to tell mom because she'll have it on Facebook by Monday morning. Like, she's not the best of secrets.
Oh,
So I was
no.
like, "Oh, what have I done?" It was kind of like, I knew by
But it was
telling
a
her,
relief.
like, that I had to tell people quickly, like, or it's not going to come from me.
Yeah.
So like later that night, then we were like all back having drinks at my mom's house. Like, it was after New Year's,
Oh
and
my God. It
I
takes
was
so
like,
much courage and
I
so
know,
much.
and I was just thinking about it all night. And then, like, there was loads of people there, and eventually I just had, like, while people were chatting, I was just like, "Mom, can you come down to the room? I need to talk to you." And she thought like I was about to tell her like something terrible altogether. Like,
Yeah.
but I told her, and she was so happy. She always wanted me to be gay. Like, she wanted me to be like a fashion designer. She was shocked though, because I was always talking to her about like the girl problems, you know. Like, so she was like, hey, she was like, I really didn't. She was like, I just like, everyone said it, but I just never believed them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was nice. I was like, just don't tell my uncle yet, because I looked up to my uncle so much, and he was like so cool. And so she was like, no, I won't. And then she went down to the other room and brought him back. I was like,
Oh my God.
and she told him, and he was like, he was like, I don't even know if I can put this in the podcast, but he was like, so what, child? You like sucking a bit of dick, like, you know, like he was like, we all got our own kinks, and
Oh
like
my
it was just
God, I
something, but
love that.
it
It was
just
just
like,
him saying, yeah,
like,
it's
you know,
okay.
and then it was like,
And that was his way of saying it. Why
and then he
couldn't you
was
put that
like,
in
he
the
was like,
podcast? It's his way of
yeah.
saying, hey, it's all fine.
Yeah, and then it was like, he was like, give me a hug. I was hysterical. He was like, why are you crying?
Oh.
Like, he was like, give me a hug, you know, like, it's like, this changes nothing. So like, that went really well. And I was happy for it. And then like, I could
And I
lean
bet you
on.
wish you didn't leave it so long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, if I could have come out sooner, like I would have, like
Yeah.
now. But then I could lean on my mom as well, like when I needed to ask something, or if I was going through something, now she knew, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I knew then that like my dad would have to be the next person that I tell, which is what I needed the more therapy for, because for my dad, like he'd made some stupid comment a long time ago, like when I was really young. My stepmom, she kind of always knew, you know, like she was always just like saying little things to me, trying to get out of me, like, you know, like, oh, could be a boy, you know, like whatever.
Well,
And
that's nice. That's giving you the opportunity to be able to say, yeah, it is, or, you know.
It was nice, but because I wasn't ready at some times, like, you know, like it was like, oh, like stop, you know, like, but she said it one time in front of my dad, and then he said something like, oh, I would want nothing to do with my child if he was gay, or something stupid in passing that now I know he would have never meant, but I felt like it kept us like
apart
distant. And what used to happen then is like, as I started drinking to get older, like I'd have all these emotions come up, and I would just start crying and like be like, and I'd always have like pick something like, oh, a bit about like not being close to dad or not being this, and like, so then I got a name for being like the kid that's always crying at the parties, like they're like, oh, here he goes again, you know?
Yeah, but it was all this keeping everything inside the whole time.
Yeah, but that's what it was. But I could never even explain why I was crying, you know?
I think the biggest thing is like keeping that secret. It's not even, you know, it's you, it's your life, it's who you are, and having to.
And you're just so afraid of being caught out as well. You can't like anything a bit too much. What do you say? And to be honest, I was more comfortable around girls because it was easy for me.
Yeah, and you didn't have to lie.
But then being around guys, like I felt way more uncomfortable. Like not because I was into the guys or anything like that, but it's just because I didn't. You're so scared. Like, are they going to figure me out? You know, like so you're trying to be like more straight and like
more macho,
yeah,
and more,
and you just don't know how to act because you can't be yourself.
Yeah,
you know.
Whereas at least when you're around the girls, you could just be relaxed.
Oh
and
yeah,
be
like
yourself.
And it's not even like they were just more accepting because I was soft. Like I was always soft, you know. And even though I needed tough skin for my group, but like I think we all came out of that group with battle scars.
Oh jeez, lucky I wasn't growing up in Ireland. I probably would have been kicked out of that group from day one.
Bitchy, but like in a good,
So do you regret taking so long, or that was just the journey that was what you could deal with at the time?
You know what? Like I think like if I had never gone to college and I had never if I'd never gone to college and if I'd never met that guy, and I might not even be out now.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think I've ever just done it.
There's people I know that you know, that came out, like one of the girls I know, her father came out like when she was, you know, 20.
Yeah. I probably would have run away. Like I would have moved countries and like, you know, then maybe done it there, you know, but like.
Isn't that a shame? Like you're prepared to give up your family, give up everything because you can't be who you want to be.
Yeah, that's it. And even for me, I think about if I was even to move back to my hometown now, like it's not worth it to be gay there. Not because it'd be bullied or anything. You stick out like a sore thumb.
It's
difficult.
Like it's difficult.
It's more difficult. There's no like inclusive spaces or gay clubs or anything. Like you're in a small town. You don't want to.
You don't want to draw attention.
Yeah, like and a lot of like the straight lads like think that because you're gay you'd want to go off with them, but they look like a thumb. You know, like you know, like it's just like
you're not my type.
Don't get too close to me, and I'm like, honey, like I would
you're not
never.
my type.
Yeah, like
forget it.
Yeah,
but I think by telling this story, and the reason why today when you said that to me, I was like, let's just sit down and chat about this because you know I can't imagine when you talked about it and you were so emotional, and when you said to me, you know, the thought of committing suicide or doing that. And I think how many people are out there that are going through what you're going through. And you just got to have that courage to be who you are
Yeah.
and to be the person you are. And, you know, as you said, like even your dad, who you thought would never accept you, is so accepting. And
Yeah.
you've just got to believe. And if they don't, that's their problem.
Yeah.
It's not your problem.
That's what my therapist had drilled into me eventually. He was just like, you know, like, this is who you are, and like that's not going to change. And like, so he had got me to a point where I was confident in myself, so much so that when I was going to tell Dad, I had already grieved and accepted the loss of that relationship.
If that wasn't going to happen.
If that wasn't going to happen, I had prepared myself like that might happen, and that's not on me, that's on him.
Yeah.
You know? So when I did tell him anyway, I told him what he had said, like in his exact
and
words.
I bet he felt so bad.
Oh, he was just hysterically crying. He was hysterically crying.
Yeah.
And then he rang me because it was after a few drinks. I didn't actually mean to tell him. My stepmom, I told my stepmom, and then she brought him over. It's kind of like the mom and aunt thing.
Hey,
I was like,
come over here.
yeah, I was like,
don't
tell him. And then she was like, I'll be back in 1 second. Like, and she was like, I have something to tell you. And I was like, and I told him, and it was so funny because I won't say this because that like gives away his identity.
Yeah.
But basically, like, he was into sports, Liverpool. Like, my family are all Liverpool supporters. Like, he was everything that they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
So I was so proud to bring him into
the house,
into the family, because I knew they'd love him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, and that's what I led with when I was telling my dad. I was like, and he loves sports. Yeah, so then my dad rang me the next day to reassure me, which I think was like the best thing that he could have ever done.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want to meet him, bring him down, like, don't.
And do you think you stayed in that relationship because you came out together and it was so powerful, and that was it just dwindled when it dwindled?
No, yeah, like, I think, I don't know.
Was
like,
it more
I feel
emotional when you
like
broke up because of that, or you didn't think by that stage?
By that stage, eventually, like, all our friends knew and everything. I think we were just happy that we found each other at that point, you know, like, we were both going through it. And then
and I think, look, like having this chat with me here today, I think there's so many people out there that question it, and that, you know, and then, as you said, like, I used to watch people at Ritz-Carlton, and when I worked there, because it was a very hospitality, it was a very gay environment, and it was a very gay. And I think a lot of the people would get the job at the hotel with the hope of being able to come out, or with the hope of being able to have some normality around them.
Yeah.
In that. So I saw a lot of people come in that obviously came in as straight, and before the end of the Christmas party, you could see the relief in their face, and, you know, and I think, I hope over time it gets easier, but I don't think it does get easier because it's your personal situation.
Yeah.
And it's your family.
I think
and
it's less about the views and more about like the views of other people, but more about like you go through that, like, shame spiral where you think that like you're going to be a disappointment to them, or you're going to, like, you think that like they're going to disown you when you come out, or the whole family. Like in Ireland, it would be like, the whole family are going to be talking about you, you know, like, you know, it's the whispers, that you're afraid of, you know. So when I told my dad, and then about 3 months later, I did like the hardest one. I had to tell my nan and granddad, which I was just like, for them, I knew that they wouldn't be like disowning me or kicking me out or anything. Like, their pride and joy. So, but I did accept that they might not accept it, which is okay. And I did say earlier that they were going to vote no in the referendum, but I argued with them and they both voted yes before they knew. So that meant a lot.
Yeah.
So then I was just there one night with my nan.
The referendum saying yes to gay marriage.
Yeah, to gay marriage,
yeah.
So they both voted yes, and this was about a year before I even came out. But I was like, I was so happy that they changed their mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, what difference does it make to you? You're like married 50 years, you know, like,
exactly.
why you stopping?
Like, forget it.
But they saw my point anyway. They voted yes, and then I was sitting there with my nan one night, and I was like, I have to do it. I was so hungover. I was at an electric picnic for like 3 days. So the serotonin and everything, I was just like in that, you know, like that
vacuous crazy.
Yeah, like where you're just emotionless. And I was like, do it now. So eventually, anyway, I just said it, and I was like to her, I have something to tell you. She immediately gets worried, you know, like, what? And I was like, I have a boyfriend. And she's like, and you just see the colour drained
no
from her
way.
face. She was as pale as her ghost. And I was like, I'm gay. And she was like, are you sure?
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
You're like, yeah, well, I'm pretty
I was like,
sure.
I'm with him for like a year.
Oh. Did you
And
tell
she
her
was like,
that?
yeah, I told her that. And
Yes,
then she was like,
Gran.
yeah, it's fine. She's like, that's fine. Just don't tell the cousins.
Oh,
And I
no, she
was like,
didn't.
yeah, it was just her
Reaction. Yeah.
And I was laughing at her. Like I take no
Yeah.
notice of her. But
Don't tell the
don't tell the
cousins.
cousins. Yeah. And then I was like, don't tell granddad now because he'd just been down in the pub, you know?
Yeah.
And he's going to come in, like, and he's going to be after a few drinks or whatever. And she was fine about it anyway. But when we came in anyway, we're sitting there watching TV, and Nan just turns to granddad and she's like, Kyle has something he wants to tell you. And I was like, I don't. And he's now going, what? Tell me. And I tell him, and he's like, that's all right, bye. I know a few gay men.
So he's trying to make it all
Yeah,
right.
and then he's like asking me, granddad's like so inquisitive. He's like, but could you be with a woman now? I mean, like, I could,
No. Oh
but
my
I don't want to
God.
be.
Oh,
And he's like,
no.
and my nan's like, would you ever stop fucking asking such stupid questions? And it just went on, and it was so cute. But they were both fine about it, and they were like, who knows? And I was telling them,
Yeah.
oh, who knows, blah, blah, blah. They were all fine about it. And then it was a couple of months later, I was talking to my stepmom, and she was like, your poor Nan, do you know that she didn't sleep for 3 days after you told her?
Oh, no.
And I was like, really? And then she was like, yeah. She was like, because she can't believe that she asked you, were you sure? And told you not to tell the cousins. She felt so guilty that she just couldn't sleep. She was like, why did I say that to him? How fucking stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
love her.
And so overall, the reactions from everyone was good. But then, like, you know, I have friends that their parents don't speak to them anymore.
Oh, yeah,
so like
I
there
know.
is,
Yeah.
so there's no point in denying that like,
Yeah, it
you
does
know,
still
you're going to come out
exist.
and everything's going to be roses. And like some people, it takes their parents a year or two to come around. Some parents don't want anything to it at all.
I mean,
But
luckily, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends whose sons have come out and they've been very accepting
Yeah.
and also the kids, like, I'll say, oh, that lovely gay couple. They'll be like, Mum, why do you need to say gay? And I
Yeah.
think, you know, certainly, like, I'm, you know, in my 50s, you're in your 20s.
20s still.
You know, certainly the younger that people are, the more accepting, the more like it's just normal. And someone's gay one minute and then straight the next. And you know, like I know a lot of stories where girls have, you know, come out and they're gay and now they're with, you know, now they're with men.
Yeah, they're with men anyway.
So I don't, you know, I just think that as a whole, and especially as you said, in Sydney, in Australia, it is a lot more accepting, but that doesn't make it any easier for any individual's case. And any individual, it's about telling their parents, telling their grandparents. So regardless of how accepting society is.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any easier.
No, it
like,
doesn't.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about it's not about the whole town's view. For me, anyway, the only people you're thinking about is like the people in your immediate family. It's not like really what the town are going to say.
Yeah. Because you don't give a shit about that.
Normally what you're thinking about is like, they're going to be so worried about what the town is going to say.
Yeah.
But it's still about them, you know?
It's about how they feel and your family and your connections and your brothers and your sisters and your...
that's it. And now like I've got like 3 small brothers and sisters, like, and they all know like I'm gay, like, and they're happy about it and they're so proud about it. And like they don't, it's so funny because they're being brought up in a way now like that's so different to like the way I was brought up or like that, because they know, they're like, my brother's got a boyfriend.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It's just like
it's just normal for them.
It's totally normal.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. And I do think that, you know, we're you know, I'm from an era where, you know, there was a gay couple or there was this, whereas my kids are like, Mum, just call it, you know, they're just a couple. Whereas, you know, it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is wrong. It's just that that's how we spoke in that, you know, in that era.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the more acceptance that comes about, fantastic. But as you said, it doesn't make it any easier for an individual.
And that's one thing for me, and not everyone has the same view on this, but for me, if, like boys in the pub in Ireland, like they'd be like, oh, go away, you faggot, like to one of their normal friends. To me, that does not even insult me in the slightest, you know, because I know it's like, go away, you muppet, you know, like it's just a word that they were brought up using. It's not like, it's not meant to be directly at you. And I get that it's got history in that. But for me, I'm like, because then now when if they say it when I'm around, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Like, I didn't mean anything towards you. And I'm like, I know that.
Yeah.
So I think like there's a part of it as well as like I don't need to take personal offense to hello.
Oh, do you know Frank came out recently?
Did he?
Yeah, we caught him round the side with Bear, Bianca's dog.
Really?
Johnny's like, "Oh, he's not gay. He said all dogs do that."
That's so funny. He just wanted to
We're proud
be,
of him.
yeah.
Exactly. He wanted to say, "Hey, I've done it too,
Yeah.
Kyle."
But yeah, so like I choose not to take offense, especially for people that, you know, it maybe it shouldn't be part of the culture, but it is. And like me denying that and being like attacking everyone if they use that word around me
Yeah.
isn't going to make it any better or, you know, make them feel any more comfortable around me than I will feel around them, you know? So I never take offense when somebody says something out of turn, like it slips out of their mouth or like, you know, unless somebody's directly
Yes.
calling
Yeah,
me
defamatory
like
or
calling me something because of something, you
Yeah.
know? Then I don't take the offense to it. And like, and then all those lads, they all appreciate that as well then because
Yeah.
they're like, you know, they're
Exactly.
not
You're not
worried
sitting
about
there
it.
going,
I'm like, oh
"Oh,"
no, you're
and
fine.
you're not walking on eggshells
Yeah.
because you're gay.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know,
And then I took the same approach as well with my family when like, that's one thing I will say that helped is like what I got into my head was, for my nan and granddad, for instance, they were brought up, my nan was born in 1950, you know? So I was like, if they don't accept it, that's not them against me. I'm like, this is like something that they were brought up with, told in the church, like, you know,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
and then like, it's not their fault if they can't wrap their head around that initially, you know?
Yes. Yeah. But look,
Because you're
actually,
changing generations and
Yeah.
generations of views and being told one thing is right and one thing is not. And like, I understood that it would either take time or they wouldn't accept it, but I it was like the confidence in yourself that like, it doesn't matter if they accept it or not. I accept it and this is the
also
way it's
for
going to
you to
be.
be
As
for
long as,
you to be exist as a person,
yeah,
you needed to be honest to yourself, regardless of how
yeah,
anyone else looked at it.
that's it.
And you saw that you know, you almost became undone. It almost destroyed you keeping that secret. It almost destroyed you not being able to be the person you're able to be.
That's it.
And I think that is the biggest lesson for anyone, you know, gay, straight, whatever. You need to be the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
And I think
It's,
leading a lie,
yeah,
living a lie is a very exhausting.
it's
It's
exhausting and like,
mentally exhausting, it's physically exhausting.
and it's the thing is like you just can't build proper relationships with people because you've got like this fear of them finding out about you or you're living in this thing. And like when I came out, it was
The relief.
like it was just such
Years and
a weight
years.
off my shoulders. I was like everything just got better from then on. My relationship with my dad got better even, like, you know,
was
and I
that?
was
'Cause you're
lucky.
not
But
trying
like
to
then we
hide
got really
anything.
close after
Yeah.
that. So
Were you
when
surprised that people were a lot more accepting than you'd ever
I was
expected them
surprised
to
when the
be?
bullies started apologizing. I was like, "You broke my nose!" Like, you
Oh,
know. I'm
no.
like,
Oh my God.
but I'm like, if you're apologize again, I don't hold grudges. So like,
Yeah.
I literally
Well, good on you.
talk to anybody. So I was like, that's fine. Like, thanks. You know, like, thanks for saying sorry. I wish you didn't do it, but yeah, actually, this is one thing I should say is like, like the weight of it is so much more when it's your secret,
Yeah.
you know, whereas now like, yeah, I'm gay, but like it's not all of me, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas back then it felt like it was
It
everything,
was
you
all
know?
of you, yeah. Whereas that's just one
Whereas
little
now it's just
portion,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like this is just
But when it's being held as a secret and you
it
can't be who
it
you wanna
consumes
be,
you, like
yeah.
it consumes you, and it's like you think that's all anybody's going to see you as, and like, you know, if you come out like you're just going to be the gay friend, you're just going to be the gay
Oh,
guy, like, you know.
that's
But
such a
like,
great thing to say
yeah,
because it isn't
and
who you are. It isn't the whole of you.
yeah,
It's yeah.
it's just a percentage, like it's just a small, like whatever.
Exactly. Like you think of someone saying, "Oh, well, I'm straight." Is that who they
Yeah, but
are?
people don't
No.
need to say
No,
they're
they're a
straight
mum, they're a
because
dad, they're a this, they're a that, and that's exactly what you're saying, that you
yeah,
didn't feel like that. You felt the only thing you felt is that you were gay.
yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a big secret, and I do think there's some truth to like, you know, before I came out, I actually was probably more homophobic than anybody else because, especially with gay people, because like it was almost like they'd see through me, you know, like, you know, so like I just like I would make awful comments myself, just trying to do anything I could to hide it, you know? So, and I'm like,
Oh,
so
no
that
wonder you were
all leads into it.
so crumble by the end.
Yeah, like, because it's just...
And that's really what it is, isn't it? It's the end before you come out. It's the end of you having to lie, having to be something that you're not, to then being the person that you want to be and the person that...
And the thing is, it starts so young. Like, you don't really know it, but like, you know that you fancy your best friend, like, not the girl, you know, like, you know, these little things. You're like 5 years old and you're like, that's not right, you know?
Yeah.
So like, those little things of like telling yourself like, that's not right, or like, you shouldn't be like that, or, you know, why aren't you like this? And these questions,
So
like,
it's years and
they
years
start
and
so
years
young
and
that like,
years.
yeah, back then, if I, like, you know, people say like, oh, it's a choice, like, you know, blah, 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 you've got the infliction of the devil or whatever, you know. But like, it's like, the thing is, for me, like, I would have done anything I could to have been straight.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I didn't want to be gay, and that's why I hated it so much. Like, I hated it. I hated myself for so long because of that reason. Like, the thing is, to the people that say it's a choice, like, I really fucking didn't want to, and if I could have chose, I would have. Back then. Now I'd still be gay. So,
Go you! I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, sharing this for everyone, it's been, you know, it's a great story, because it's all about being who you need to be and being who you're allowed to be.
Yeah.
And that's, as I said, like, that's, you know, anyone that's carrying a lie, anyone that's not being truthful to themselves, obviously feels that. I gave you that example of when I was in that bad relationship, and I knew I wanted to break up with him, but I didn't want to admit that I wanted to break up with him. So I just used to say, I'm sad. I don't know why I'm crying.
Yeah.
But deep down, you know why you're crying, but you just don't want to admit it or say it because it's too hard.
Yeah, that's it.
And it never went away.
And
I kept crying, and it got worse and worse and worse until I decided to be, you know, brave enough to say the truth and say I wanted to break up.
Yeah, because you're denying it yourself. So like, if you admit that that's why you're sad, then you've admitted to yourself, you know, and then it's hard to come back from that, you know.
So it's not just about coming out, it's about being honest with your own emotions. And I think that helps mental health.
Yeah.
I think with mental health, and it's like, you know, we've done a lot of episodes on you know, mother's guilt and mothering, but it's the same, you know, you have that same sort of thought process where you might be, you know, really, really down after having a baby, and you don't realize why, and you don't want to admit why, because you think you've got to be in love with this thing, and you've got to, you know, so many women suffer from so much, you know, bad postnatal depression because they don't want to admit the reason they feel so sad. So I think, you know, for mental health as well, you know, that honesty within yourself and trying to grapple with these types of huge
and like,
emotions.
Yeah, I know you said you haven't, but like, I do know some parents that like have cut their children out or whatever afterwards. But I think from a parent's perspective, it's normally due to optics. You know, they're normally more concerned about the town and what they would think, like,
and
you
what
know,
other people are going to think,
know,
and
like,
what's the
like,
Joneses going to think, and what,
and,
you know, how does this leave your brothers, and how does this leave someone else, and you know,
that's it. Like, and it's not actually about like even them being gay or not. You know, it's just like, it's just a pure
Public
denial
perception.
thing, the public perception. But like, they have to remember the child's biggest fear is losing you by telling you. You know, like, and
exactly, and it's giving them that reassurance that nothing's going to change.
It's
nothing's
not just
going
it's
to...
not just like a hairstyle they can change and you can force out of them, like many parents think they can. You know, like,
or are you sure? I know a lot of parents that have been told, and like, are you sure? Are you sure? Well, I wouldn't be sitting here at this point where I'm about to commit suicide. I'm about to do this. I think I'm freaking sure. You know?
That's it. And the thing is, and even if you're not sure, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to give them the space to figure that out. Like, you know, because like, you could go backwards. Like, I used to think I was like 100% gay. Now I'm probably like, could be 80%, you know, like, you know, but it is, it's like, but because it was the secret, it just felt like that's all it could be, you know?
Yes. It's, you know, I think they've got to remember that it's the person actually coming out has lived with this all their lives. They're hearing this in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
like, they're responding to something new, which they just found out. And I do think the people that are coming out to just be mindful as well of the fact that, like, you have had your whole life to come to this acceptance. Like,
the person you're telling is going to be in shock.
Yeah, that's
or might react the way that you don't want to. Doesn't mean that they're not happy or,
Yeah.
you know, they'll get time to get used to it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm very reactive. As soon as I hear something,
Yeah.
you know, I'm the sort of person that will go off and, you know, and then go, you know.
That's it. Like I had one family member and she said, fuck it, Kyle. Life's going to be very hard for you now. You know, like, and it was just,
It's like, I just don't
I
need to
actually
hear that.
I didn't take any notice of it, but it was just because that was what her thought was.
Yeah,
it was a worry and a
exactly.
concern. It was a worry and a concern for me. You
Yes.
know,
I just
like
don't want you
I
to
don't want
have
you
a
to have a
hard
hard
time.
life, you
Yeah.
know?
Whereas I think,
But I
you know,
haven't.
no, but I
It's
also
been great.
exactly.
If you say so.
No, but I think also that's something that it was you used to see it as a really lonely life where people had to, you know, stay
Yeah.
behind closed doors the whole time, whereas it's not like that now. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, to have the courage like you have, even just to tell your story,
Yeah.
it's such a nice story, and it's so lovely how each generation
Well, I had
accepted
a
it
happy ending in
differently.
the end.
Oh, good on you. I don't want to hear about your happy endings, Kyle. Keep that information to yourself, okay? But yeah, no, it really, I think anything in life, you've got to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
And I think any sort of secret that you're holding inside is going to destroy you eventually.
Yeah.
And you were lucky enough. How old were you?
I was 19,
Yeah.
maybe 19,
So,
20.
you know.
And I still feel like that was late, like, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, the older you get as well, like you're missing out on like those fun years in your 20s or like, you know, being like my friend that was gay in uni that was out before me, like he had a ball, like, you know, and I used to be so jealous,
Yeah.
like, you know.
And you were missing out on all
Yeah.
those things.
And then I got like in a relationship, and then I was like, when am I going to have that time?
So do you know that you've been only my second guest? Well, you probably do because you do produce
I
the
do.
podcast.
I do record the podcast.
So sorry today that I didn't give you the opportunity to do your hair in that nice coif that you normally do, because I just said on the spot when you started telling me this story, I just thought it's such an important story to tell.
Yeah.
And it'll give a lot of people out there the courage to be able to come and tell, you know, their loved ones and not have to hide it away. And it'll also give a family member to know that
how to
react
respond,
and know how to respond. And, you know, I think it will help so many people.
Yeah.
And I hate that Oprah Winfrey moment is be your authentic self. But
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. It was killing you being someone you weren't.
Yeah, exactly. And not just on that, like everyone has many different faces. You've got your work face and you've got your like home face and you've got like, you know, your like your party face, you know, and it isn't just a one face. And if you are more flamboyant and stuff, and you know, like that makes your parents uncomfortable, but like you've got a different face around them, that's still you, you know, like it doesn't mean that you like.
I'm not going to be as dirty and cheeky in front of the kids as I am in front of Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people like think that, you know, oh, you've come out now and you're just going to be this super flamboyant or be into all this stuff. Like, you know, like some people are still into their sports, you know.
Yeah.
They kind of like grieve the person they thought you were because they think you're going to be someone so different, but you're still their son. Like you're still their version of their son. You know, they just know this extra bit about you, and you don't need to define your whole life around that identity.
Yeah.
You can still be you, and a lot of people don't realize they can still be them.
Oh, don't. That's so lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But that's just such a lovely thing to say. It doesn't change the person at all.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if you know someone that's struggling, or you know someone, you know, not even necessarily struggling with coming out, but struggling with, you know, secrets of things that they need to, you know, get off their chest and need to talk about. I think as long as you're truly your authentic self, I hate that word, but as long as you can be yourself.
I suppose on that authentic self, you're right. Authenticity can mean whatever it means to you.
Yes.
And like, because some people go looking and searching for their authentic self, but like, it might just be the person that you've been all along, but now they know you're gay.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we're going to leave it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Follow the podcast.
But it doesn't mean you're not going to come back on.
Yeah. I'll come back on. I'm always in the back.
It's always in the background. Oh,